Okay, welcome to Let's Get to the Marks. Going through a nice, easy A-level biology genetic cross question. Don't worry about the exam board, it's suitable for all of you. It's an easy one, just one to warm up your day and get your revision started. Pause the video, have a go, then watch the walkthrough. The photograph shows the red, white, and pink snapdragon flowers. Plants with genotype FR have flowers with red petals, FW have white petals. We can see the lovely picture here. Deduce why heterozygous snapdragon plants produce flowers with pink petals. So, what do we know from looking at this? You can pause, have a go, 3-point answer. I'm going to explain it now. So, of course, you can see that we have FR. We're using capital letters, not lowercase. That it means it's dominant. Don't worry about my spelling, which isn't very dominant. It's very recessive spelling. Then we look at the FW, and this is for the white flowers. Again, it's a capital letter, so it's also dominant. We call this codominance or incomplete dominance. You can use either term. They're both correct. So we want to say the reason we get pink flowers is because of codominance. Boom, that gets you a mark. Now we need to explain that a little bit. Well, if you're heterozygous, you're going to have FR, FW, F capital R, F capital W, which means you're going to have one of each allele. You're going to have a red allele and a white allele, red and white allele if you're heterozygous. And they're both codominant, so both are expressed in the phenotype. So if you have FRFW, you're heterozygous, that's going to get you a mark, and both are expressed in the phenotype will get you the third mark. But I can explain this a little bit further and say, well, both red and white are both going to be expressed. So we're going to get a kind of mix of red and white. We can call it an intermediate, something in between red and white, which will be pink. So pink is an intermediate or a mix of the red and white that are expressed in the phenotype. So 3 marks, codominance. If you're heterozygous, you have the FR and the FW gene, or allele, second mark, and both are expressed in the phenotype, third mark. And for a fourth bonus marker, if you miss one of the earlier points out, pink is an intermediate or a mix of the red and white that are both expressed. Right, let's move on. So, now we've got a little Punnett square, but it's a basic Punnett square, codominant monohybrid, 2 snapdragon plants with the genotype FRFW, so they're heterozygous, were crossed, determine the probability of each petal color in the offspring cross using a genetic diagram. So I know this is basic, I know this is easy, but we're using this one up as a nice warm-up for your day. So we're going to bust out in our Punnett square FRFW. Now that's going to get you a mark for writing the genotypes of the parents. We're now going to get the 4 genotype crosses for the offspring. So we're going to have FR for the first one, and then we're going to take the boxes and we're going to match them up with the relevant box. We're going to get FRFW there. Then we're going to go to the FW here and go to the FR. I'm going to write it as FRFW because I've done it there, and that's the heterozygous one. And then we're going to get FW in the 4th box. Now you're going to get your second mark for getting the correct genotype of the offspring. Now, looking at our Punnett square, we need to write down the probability in the table below. So how many reds are? Well, 1 in 4 is red. How many heteros are there? Well, there's 2 RWs. So we've got 2 pinks, right? 2 in 4. And how many whites are there? We've got 1 in 4, right? WW. So now we're going to put that into a probability. I'm going to change it from a fraction to a decimal. We're going to go pink 0.5, red 0.25, white 0.25. Now let's look at the last part of this question. There were 416 plants given off as offspring from this cross. Predict how many of these flowers will have white petals. Well, you're going to do 0.25 times the total number of plants, 416. You're going to get 104. And that is our prediction of the offspring. Of course, you got random chance and fertilization of gametes, randomness of all of that business. So it might not end up like that. Anyway, guys, you know what I say. Sharing's caring. Hit the like, punch up the bell, subscribe. Let's get to the marks.
You're still here? It's over.